brand new. It's very, very easy. A fourth grader can learn this stuff. Yeah, calculus is another thing. It's easy. The algebra was what gets you. Concepts are actually pretty simple in calculus. For those who get there, you'll find out. You go like, wait a second. Yeah, it is really easy concept. But the algebra to get to the concepts is what really kind of gets you. All right, but if you're really, really strong in Algebra 2, you make an A, you can probably easily make an A in Calculus. If you're really strong in Algebra 2, in Trig and Pre-Cal, you do real well there. You do fine. All right. The other day, we had these two equations in our notes. If you don't remember them, we had that sum of 79, and we had the difference of 23. We had two equations. We had x plus y equals 79. And what was the other one? Yes, x minus y equals 23. All right, so what we're going to do is write our augmented matrix, which we did already. You remember doing that the other day? It is really taking the numbers right here. We have a 1 right there, we have a 1 right there, we have a 1 right there, and a 1 right there. And we're going to write those in here. And just go 1, 1, 7, 9. Here it'd be 1, negative 1, 23. That is the matrix. All right. Notice that they are categorized by rows and columns. So what is the matrix? Data, listed in rows and columns surrounded by brackets. Okay? So, there are no commas or anything. So it's just a collection of data. Okay? So it's an easy way to house data, to manipulate data. If we can add, we can subtract, we can multiply these, we can divide these, we can find what we call a determinant. There's a whole bunch of things you can do with matrices. Okay? My daughter, who is in the upper levels of math there in the applied mathematics at UC Merced, uses matrices basically on every research project she does. Okay? So if you're getting further and further and you want to make six figures and you're really good at math, applied mathematics is the way to go, and make sure you learn your matrices. Okay? Starting salaries is six figures for those. So that's what she's hoping for, but who knows what she'll do. So she hasn't set her path yet, so she's still got 2 years to finish up. All right. But yeah, definitely an advantage there. All right, softball teams, equipment. So we're going to write this as a matrix. So basically, you're just going to create a kind of a taller matrix and put the 12 and the 45 and the 15. And then you would have 15 and the 38, and you're going to have the 17 in. And how many rows do you think there are? You want to take a guess? 3. How many columns? 2. So this is what we call a 3. I did it again. I said 3, wrote 2. 3 by 2. The dimensions are 3 by 2. Notice there's a letter what in between those? X. That means by. So in that case, it's 3 by 2. That's what it means. It's like a 2 by 4. All right. If you see a 2 by 4 by 6, what do you think that is? Well, that's 2 by 4. It's 2 inches by 4, and then that's 6 feet long, right? If you don't know anything about, it's not really 2 by 4 inches. After they cure it, it's 3.5 inches, not 4 inches. Oh. All right, so go ahead and write the dimensions of those 3 right there. A, B, and C. Go ahead and find the dimensions, please. So there'll be an X in between each of these somewhere, and then all you have to do is say, hey, rows, 1, 2 by 1. Very simple, right? 1 by 2, 1 by 3, and you guys get 4 by 4? Which means that's a what? That's what Gavin is, okay? It's a square matrix. Oh, I was just messing with you, Gavin. It was a joke. It didn't mean anything. Oh, he is? Jason! He just threw you under the short bus, man. I'm glad we can have fun in here. All right, now, looking at this next one here. So we have this elements. Okay, so I just want to show you what an element matrix looks like. Maybe if you just see this, I think you might be able to put it together. All right, so I'm going to create a matrix A, and that matrix is going to end up being a 1, 1, a 1, 2, a 1, 3, a 2, 1, a 2, 2, a 2, 3, a 3, 1, a 3, 2, a 3, 3. Now, when I stated this right here, when I said A11, what did I not call it? I didn't call it A11 because it ain't A11. Okay? Just like when you're calling 911, you call 911? No, you call it 911 because they are separated, right? The numbers themselves are separated. So these numbers are separated. So my question to you, and maybe you can think about it real quickly here. It won't take you much, but don't say it out loud. But what are those numbers representing? Those numbers representing? What? A position is a location. And the location by what? Rows and columns. So these are little tiny little like ARC. All right. You might know what RC. You might drank one before. You got a little bottle top right there. You know where they make Royal Cola? Right here in East Tennessee. It was invented right here. They bottle it right here. Greenville. Okay. So it's claim to fame. So I don't know how anybody else teaches matrices in the world, but we always talk about RC, Royal Cola. You can rows, columns. Just remember that. Yeah, it's always rows, columns, rows, columns. So those are all row columns. You can tell right here. Look, all the ones are right there are columns. Column 2, that's column 3. That's row 1, row 2, row 3. Okay, it's really important you understand that. So element 2, 1, as you can tell, this is row 2, column 1 is 45. So I'm looking for element 32, not 32, but 32, which is 17 is correct. Okay? So you need to be able to identify that. Can you imagine if your head was down, if you're asleep, or you're not even here? How are you going to figure that out? Watch the video. Talk to Ari. Autumn's going to have to do some catch-up. All right, now, looking at part 3 here, go ahead and find me element C23, C32, and C54. I'm going to have Jaden answer these 3. Jaden Tate, what is C23? -1 is correct. What about 32? 0.9. He's 2 for 2. All right, 5-4. Trick question. This is not happening, not here. Some people use NA, not applicable. You can put it on your DM. Dimensions mismatch. So there's a lot of ways you can just say it's just undefined. I don't really care. There is no element there. It doesn't exist. Does not exist. DNE. All right. Have fun with it when you get there. I mean, you can say it's chopped. Not even there. All right. Looking at the next one. It says we're going to create an F column here, and this was the bats, balls, and gloves. So in F, you're going to get 2, and then 38. So what is this? 36. 36 and 3, and then 0, 18, and 4. Now, earlier we had a matrix that was, I know it's 45 here, 15 here, 15 here. I don't remember the other numbers. 12 on the top left, and then what? 38 and 17. Okay. This is E. That was F. How could we find the total number of bats and balls that we have totally? What would we do with E and F to do that? Anybody? Add them together. All right, so let's see, how would we add these together? So we're going to take E and add it to F. And so it's going to give us E plus F over here, and we're going to create another matrix. And what do you think is going to be in this spot right here? How are you going to add these together? Anybody? Dakota, help me out. All right, so what would this one be then? The first spot. If we were going to add by position, you said. 14. And then, all right, and then, okay. So in this case here, guys, you got to remember 12 is going to add up with the 2. That the 15 is going to add up with that. That's how we're getting these results over here, okay? So that's what's happening each and every single time. So what must occur if we're going to add matrices together? What has to happen in order to add matrices together? This is your maroon team, right? And this is your gray team. Can we have a red team over here? We can create numbers over here. And I'll make my matrix. This is a 3 by 3 now. Can we add a 3 by 3 with a 3 by 2? No, because then I have an empty column over here, and it doesn't make sense. Not allowed. Okay? So the dimensions have to be the what? The same. So since this is a 3 by 2 and this is a 3 by 2, we can add or we can subtract. Okay? The dimensions have to be identical in order to add and subtract. All right? That being said, go ahead and add number 1 and number no. I think number 1 and number 2 happen. I'll pass out your quizzes. If I hand you a second sheet of paper, remember that is just going to be some practice problems for you if you need. Yeah. I'm She knows I was going to sit back there and kill myself. We'll be going over these in a second, so make sure you have them ready. So I'm just going to add these up and then we'll move on. So I do have, I have a whole stack of extra remediation, which is just really just same, very similar to the quiz. If you feel like you want extra practice, you feel you need it, you didn't really quite understand what was going on in the quiz, then please grab one. It's over there near where we turn the papers in. Okay? So let's go over this real quick and see how you did. So you state the dimensions. This is a 2 by 2, and this is a 2 by 2, right? And then if we add them together, we're going to get what? What's the first location? -3. What would this one be? 11/2. Now some of you guys might have put what? 5 1/2. Please write it as 11/2. The next one would be -5, and then 3/2. Okay. Now, one of the things that happens is we get subtraction. These are both 2 by 1 matrices, right? So we can go ahead and add these together. This would be -1 plus a, I always do this. This is the way I have always been. This is the way my professor did it. When we did matrix algebra, we take this plus sign with negative sign, make it a plus, and we distribute the negative across every number inside the matrix. So in this case, I'm going to add -1, -9 here. So I'm going to add these together instead of subtracting. They just made it, I don't know, most people, Ari, are really, really good at adding. They're not really good at subtracting. So if I take -1 and I add it to the -1, I'm getting deeper in debt, so just -2. If I have to go 1 minus a -1, that confuses people. Okay, or whatever it may be, or as I say, -1 minus 1, it confuses people. So this gives me -1 down here, so this should have been your final result. I'll show you on larger ones what I do this later, starting on Monday, okay? All right, so enough on that. Let's move on to look at the quiz. Stop my recording.